objective is to defend the American people by eliminating imminent threats from the Iranian regime.
In essence, a regional war that everyone has feared has broken out throughout the Middle East when bombs were being dropped by both America and Israel in a very carefully planned operation starting in Tehran, but I think hitting as many as 20 different provinces inside Iran and justifying the attacks.
Rejected every opportunity to renounce their nuclear ambitions, and we can't take it anymore.
The negotiations that the US and Iran were having in Geneva with the mediation of Oman were largely a feint and a device because he clearly had made up his mind possibly a week ago to attack Iran. Iran's nuclear program was not the only issue on which President Trump was going to go to war. He's going to war on a much bigger agenda of removing Iran from and its current leadership. Iran is trying to mount what it promised it would do, which is to attack American bases right the way through Kuwait, Bahrain, Riyadh, the UAE, everywhere that there are American bases. They have been firing missiles. I think this is a turning point. I think we're still learning the extent to which Donald Trump is a risk taker, not Trump 1.0. This is a different president. The idea that he's an isolationist has obviously been shown to be ridiculous. He's very much willing to work in league with Israel. This is very much an Israeli demand to go after the ballistic missiles and to eradicate Iran as a power in the Middle East. I find it personally, I feel always very ambiguous about Iran because I detest the way in which they suppress human rights inside Iran, and I think the theocracy is antediluvian. But also when you meet Iranians, they are amazing people, and no one would want this war to be inflicted upon them and all these deaths to occur.
Shalom, shalom. All praise be to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahushai, Bashim, Kakadash. Double honor to the elders and apostles of great most of the well. Shalom to the elect, man. Yeah, the real true Israelites are the so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, Hispanics, and also those that are scattered and believe in the Messiah, Yahweh, which is his true name, not Jesus Christ, Yahweh, who we consider as a so-called black man, pursuant to the scripture Revelation chapter 1 verse 13 to 15. Israelites are scattered all over the world, mingled amongst the other nations, so therefore they will look like the other nations. You got Israelites that would be considered white looking and Indian looking, Arab looking or whatever. But as long as they believe and are of the elect, mercy is extended unto them. Yeah, man. The US, in the state of the small, tiny hatters in that state, if you know what I'm talking about, obviously trying to eradicate Iran, right? And they've been using the same trick or page out of George Bush with the weapons of you know what, right? Basically trying to justify why they should attack first, right? And they always use these sometimes propaganda, sometimes it could be true things taken out of context, like the Ayatollah unaliving protesters and stuff like that. But guess what? The same people, the same Americans that are same Americans and tiny hatters pointing fingers towards them, they're amplifying it even more by striking and taking more life. So it's very hypocritical. How can you point at someone and say you guys are taking lives, then your action is to take their lives even more? That doesn't even make sense. How can you be the superhero? But anyways, and why do you have the right to go into other people's lands and and to take out their leaders? See, America, Babylon the Great, Esau, Edom, the so-called white man, starting with the elites, always think and feel and believe that they are the police of the whole world, or they are God of the whole world. All right? Because they got the big toys, man, the big guns. But anyways, let's get the scriptures. Psalms 55, I'll start from verse 20, says, He have put forth his hand against such as be at peace with him. Yeah. He have broken his covenant. Yeah, so that's Esau Edom, man. We can even go back to what happened with the Native Americans over 500 peace treaties. Esau broke each one of them, man. Lies, steal, and destroys, man. And never satisfied. See? And the same thing here, man. Yeah, these devils have an interest in Iran. Why? Because they want to spread, yes, the oil, certain minerals, chemicals, and also they want to establish their military bases there. Because I did a research of places where the US have not got military places. And when you look it up, Lord, when I remember to do it, when you look it up, you realize the places where there's no military bases is the same people that are of the BRICS nation. It's basically the opposing team. You see, so it makes sense. Anyways, so he, you see, he always talks about peace treaties and peace deals, but he never goes through with it, man. Yeah. You heard the guy in the video, he said, look, they were on talks of settling things and have peace, but a week prior, he already had he was already stuck in the ways of him trying to flatten or annihilate Iranians, man. Yeah. And that's Esau. He's a liar, man. He always breaks his covenant. Verse 21, the words of his mouth were smoother than butter. Yeah, what's that talking about? He's good at advertisement, which now is getting played out now because people are waking up. People, are smelling the BS of America. That's why you got a lot of uproars of the people. You got a lot of protests. America, UK is divided because they're pointing out the same wickedness of the past. You see, people are no longer having allegiance or trust to the government. Okay, so the words of his mouth were smoother than butter. Yeah, they'll spin things to to justify things on the news. They'll put propaganda, say things uh, out of context or to benefit their narrative. Okay, but they're hypocrites, man, and they're dangerous. Why? Because it says here, but war was in his heart. See, they ain't thinking about peace. They're thinking about war, destruction. How can I take control of this area? How can I annihilate these people? How can I bend them to my will? That's the mindset of the of you know of America, starting with the elites. Esau Edom, the so-called white man. His words were softer than oil, yet were they drawn swords. Proverbs 29, I'll start from verse 2. It says, when the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice. Yeah. Are people rejoicing in this society? Are people happy? No, they're protesting. People are getting angry. People are getting frustrated. Yeah. It could be due to economy, tax raising, or the market is effed up. People have to spend more and stuff like that and earn peanuts. Yeah. So people are stressed. Okay. People are oppressed in every forms. Health, the food that we eat, toxic, GMO, ultra processed. Okay. The ideologies in this world is 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 full of confusion. So there's many reasons of why people are upset. It says when the righteous are in authority, people rejoice. People are not rejoicing because the rightful rulers, which are uh, the Israelites, the elect of Israel, starting with Yahushai, and our King David, when he returned, that's when we'll, that's when there will be established a rightful kingdom, a rightful rulership. where the laws of the Most High Yahweh Bashim Shai will be enforced. Yeah? Isaiah chapter 2 talks about that, the future in the latter days. But anyways, but when the wicked bear rule, the people mourn. So we know that the wicked are ruling. Job 9:24, the earth is given to the hand of the wicked. We know that the wicked are ruling because of what's the effects and the evidence of what's going on. Constant war, 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 war. Since the inception of America, there's been wars back to back, man. Yeah. America, American Revolution, American War with the Brits, you know, civil wars, World War One, World War Two, Korean War, Vietnam War, okay, Cold War, just bare wars, man. And that includes Britain too, man, all these other European nations too. Just constant warmongers, man. But especially Babylon the Great America. Okay? Proverbs 29:7 says, the righteous considereth the cause of the poor, but the wicked regardeth not to know it. Yeah, the wicked people don't give a damn of how the people in a lower class are feeling, man. Yeah. Because the people underneath the elites are the ones that's suffering the most. They're sending your children to war, yeah, to fight a wicked and undeserving war, a war that you did not agree to, yeah, a war that's established on greediness and wickedness, yeah, for the benefit of the elites. Okay, they don't care about the poor situation. Verse 12: if a ruler hearken to lies, all his servants are wicked. Yeah, yeah. The American government and everything they stand for is full of uh, lies and deceit and confusion, man. Okay, look at this, verse 22, and this is that this the spirit of Donald Trump. An angry man stirreth up strife, and a furious man abandoneth in transgression. NLT to the right says, an angry person starts fights. A hot-tempered person commits all kinds of sin. Verse 23, a man's pride shall bring him low, and Esau is proud, man. But honor shall uphold the humble in spirit. NLT says, pride ends in humiliation. Yeah. What's that in Revelation, well, Isaiah 14 and 12 on down, Revelation 18, and so forth. Pride ends in humiliation. With humility brings honor. Yeah. So, yeah, because America is a proud and arrogant nation, man, empire. Again, what he did to Venezuela, okay, what he's doing to Iran, that shows the character. Yeah, claiming to be humanitarian. Yeah, yeah, setting up puppet leaders to destroy a country that invest into Americans' interests. Wow, that country or that state is drained, robbed, sucked dry like a zombie, and left in corruption. They don't give a damn. All these countries that have now been taken over, America, Iraq, and so forth. Yeah, how are they doing now? Okay. Second Corinthians chapter 11, verse 14, it says, and no marvel, for Satan himself is transformed into an angel of light. In other words, Esau, Edom, the so-called white man, the star of the elites, yeah, will always portray themselves as the superheroes, the Captain America, all right? The beacon of light, of hope, the humanitarian, the superheroes, but they're devils, man. Okay, yeah, and this is what they're all about, man. Is war and destruction. Revelation 6:4, and there went out another horse that was red. Red represents Edom, right? Edom meaning red, right? And power was given to him that sat thereon to take peace from the earth. So his power, his blessing, is to take peace. Yeah, like that meme, the African Mortal Kombat. I don't want peace. I want problem always. So that's this scripture right here. To take peace. So if you're taking peace, the opposite of peace is what? Problems. Okay? Chaos, destruction, yeah, oppression, unrest. So that's what Esau does. He's doing it to his own America, where everybody's divided and confused and unhappy and angry and oppressed and frustrated, and he takes it and passes it on to the other countries. Yeah, it's like a disease, a virus. Everywhere he goes, wherever country he lands in, it gets worse. Have you not noticed that? Every country he has ties with, they get worse. I don't hear people, you know, saying everything is blessed over here since these Europeans have came over and destroyed and put a puppet leader there. Yeah. The only ones really that can say that is probably like Saudi Arabia and them Ishmaelites that got mega deals with America. But anyways, and power was given to him that sat thereon to take peace from the earth, and that they should unalive one another. And there was given unto him a great sword, just like the blessing in Genesis. By thy sword thou shalt live. That was the blessing of Esau. He's going to live through violence. Okay? So that's it, man. And guess what? It's going to affect the economy. War affects the economy, right? I read this one then. Verse 5, it says, the third seal, famine. And when he had opened the third seal, I heard the third beast say, Come and see. And I beheld, and lo, a black horse, and he that sat on him had a pair of balances in his hand. And I heard a voice in the midst of the four beasts saying, A measure of wheat for a penny, and 3 measures of a barley for a penny, and see thou hurt not the oil and wine. And I heard, and reading NLT now, across to the right, and I heard a voice from among the 4 living beings say, A loaf of wheat, bread, or 3 loaves of barley will cost a day's pay. So let's say for average shift, 8-hour shift, it can get you up to, let's say, about £100 a day. It's gonna that whole shift you did is gonna cost you a loaf of bread. In other words, yeah. So what's that talking about? Super, hyper, ultra inflation. Economy crashing, starvation, things running out, lack of things, man. Okay, and don't waste the oil and wine. Okay, but that's it, really, man. Just hypocrisy. This is Job 25, and it says that the triumphing, yeah, or the ruling of the wicked is short, yeah, and the joy of the hypocrite, but for a moment, yeah, it's going to be short-lived. The wicked empire of Esau, Edom, Babylon the Great, America is deadline is very close. Anyways, with that, all praise be to Yahweh, Bahashim Yahushai, Bashim Kakadash, double honor to the elders and apostles of Great Muslim, well, Shalom to the elect.